So what do you think about the new patch changes to some of the classes that came out like last week and a little bit, whatnot?
I find it a little funny because Blizzard just released all of these announcements for 3.1, some of the small class changes that are going to happen. One of them, for example, was that they are changing Rogue's Hunger for Blood. Instead of being something where they cast it on themselves and then they can stack it up and it's used like that, instead, it's just going to be turned into a flat 15% bonus increase that activates when there's a bleed effect on the target. Well, the reason they're doing that is because they don't want assassination burst DPS in PvP to be quite so high as it is right now. For example, I was crit for 13,000. Yes, in fact, over 9,000. 13,000 by a rogue. And they one-shotted me. I actually got one-shotted in PvP. How does that happen? But in any event, they announced how they're going to change the way this ability works. And then in this last patch that we just got, they instead just buffed it. So here you go, have just a pure buff to the ability as it stands now, but don't worry, that buff's going to be useless because we're completely redesigning it in the next patch. I don't understand. Maybe it's, putting a band-aid on a bullet wound until we get to 3.1. Hopefully we'll keep some of the blood, and if not, we can, I don't know, maybe culture bacteria on it or something, but it just seems a little counterintuitive, because I would think, as a rogue, that, wait a second, Hunger for Blood works the same way. Maybe it doesn't. I could be wrong. It works the same way, and I'm getting buffed, but then it's going to go down the crapper.
They like building people up just to rip them down later.
Story, yeah, that's how Blizzard does it. Absolutely. What do you think about this most recent patch?
I haven't really played much with it. In fact, since I downloaded it the other day, I went fishing for a while, and I played on my Death Knight today when I did those couple heroics and whatnot. So I haven't had a big chance to experience on some of my other classes exactly what they did. But as I mentioned in one of the videos or one of our shows, Blizzard makes the choices, and I stand by the choices that they make. Yep. And whatever they do, I'll play through.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, whatever, it happens. And if you're going to keep playing the game, the changes that they make, well, that's what you're going to play with unless you're a hacker. In which case, please stay away from my computer. Additionally, I liked one of the changes because they improved the glyph of Mana Gem, so I get more mana back. So I have to worry about mana even less. It was in that Culling a Stratholme run, and the other mage in the group walked over to me and said, "Why do I have 5,000 more mana than you do?" And I said, "Because I have 500 more spell damage and 500 more haste than you do." It works out I like my playstyle. I like being a glass cannon who can only last like a minute and a half.
Not unlike real life.
No, just ask the house cat.
A completely different direction.
That's good, because my bed practices with the house cat are probably not good for YouTube.
What about the idea of these the mounts that can hold more than one person? Which are the mammoths, and I've heard of people giving rides in Ironforge out to places and being like a taxi service. But why did Blizzard make this? Why do you think they did it? Is this even worth having a game, or is it one of those purely kind of hee?
I think it's purely hee. I think it's fun, just like achievements. It's a cool idea. Honestly, why do I think Blizzard did it? Because they said to themselves, we have this awesome new vehicle mechanic. Let's use it everywhere we can, like mounts that can hold more than one person, and flying carpets, which were vehicles up until, not this last patch, but the one before it. Which was, now they're just regular mounts, but before it was great, because if you were doing the landmine achievement up near K3, you could just get on your flying carpet and go, whee, right over the ground, because you wouldn't get knocked off it. Can't do it anymore, though, so it's completely irrelevant, like everything else I say.
I'm sorry, what?
Huh? What do you think about them?
I saw a flying carpet, but I'd be interested to see if Blizzard takes this in the next step and allows people, probably not, but to have flying mounts that can handle more than one person.
That would be pretty cool. A little bit
broken?
Yeah, because, hey, level 1 guy, you want to come with me to Ice Crown? That'll be fun. Ow, that actually wouldn't be fun.
Especially because you could unsummon it.
They fall to their deaths, and then they can't get their body back.
Ever again.
I have to body hop all the way back to Kalimdor. Oh! It would be kind of interesting, though, because you'd be flying along an ice crown doing your thing, and all of a sudden, somehow these mobs from the ground would just start flying up to you. They don't have wings, but they're flying up to you because you're carrying level 1 in your flying mount, and the aggro radius just goes on forever.
It's all of Northrend.
And people are just questing, and everybody simultaneously notices this strange glitch where their mobs start running away from them. And it turns out it pans out to this view above the world map, and you just see all of these dots. It's like in a zombie movie where they say, "Oh God, there's flesh over there." The zombies just go, "Whoa," like converging on Ice Crown. And it would be even better if what you did is you were a mage, right? So you're up there with the flying carpet, and they're all gathering below you. Unsummon the flying carpet, cast slow fall on the level 1 and yourself. Right before you get to the ground, you hit invisibility, and then just watch the carnage as the level 1 goes, and have them take a screenshot of their combat log afterwards.
Assuming the server doesn't crash.
Achievement: you have taken more than 800 million times your total health in damage. You gain 100 achievement points.
And successfully crashed the server.
Yeah. You know the one thing I would like to say about this as a little interlude? All of these little hand gestures, the wax on, wax off that I'm doing, Railvas can vouch, I actually do this during the show too.
He does.
It gets very distracting for me because I see these hands moving in front of me. It's like, oh, shiny. You see, with YouTube, I have to actually keep my face directed towards where we're talking to. You lovely, what? You, no. Or you. And I can't allow myself to get distracted by my hands.
Well, I could move my hands around.
Oh, God, no! Another interesting thing that they're mentioning that it's coming out, as we were talking about mounts, is that your ground mounts are going to be able to swim, and you will no longer get dismounted when you go through water. I'm not sure if there's going to be a movement speed increase in the water associated with it, but it's simply... Yeah, something like that.
You said increase. I would assume it would be a decrease.
Yeah, well, what I was saying is I don't think you're going to get improved movement in the water because you're on a mount. It'll just be something where you can move through the water and not be dismounted. You grimaced a little bit. It doesn't look like you like that idea.
I don't understand how a horse can swim when you're on its back.
Really strong legs. Or, alternatively, what you did is you cut open the horse in several places and you installed air bladders so they float.
I wonder though, with that said, if there, is there a possibility we've seen mounts that go in three dimensions up in the air. Now we're going to see mounts that go in 3 directions
in the water. You know what they should do? If you drown underwater while you are on your mount suffocates, dies, and it's removed from your inventory.
Yeah, that would be great.
Fantastic. Especially for those one-of-a-kind mounts or those mounts that you spent 18,000 gold on because you're a loser who has way too much money and didn't send it to me.
But think about it. I mean, you have the Gnomish engineering, and you can create mounts that are essentially just like one-man submarines with breathing apparati. And you could go underwater and move as fast as a druid could in their aquatic form, and never run out of air because you have the breathing apparatus on.
There you go. It's a good idea.
Maybe if they ever put like the Maelstrom out, because it is out in the ocean.
Yeah, ultimately I think it makes sense for this to happen, if for no other reason than if you're riding a giant cat along and you actually manage to coax the giant cat into the water, which probably wouldn't happen. You'd probably get mauled before you actually get the cat in the water.
Too.
But if it did, in fact, get into the water, it wouldn't suddenly disappear out from under you, causing you to splash down into the water and drown. No, it would, in fact, just get wet, move through the water to get out of it as quickly as possible, and then maul you to death.
Come on, boy, come on. Come on.
What I would like to see, though, is the Gnomish Mechanistriders in the water. Yeah!